The hit sitcom 227, which aired from 1985 to 1990, was a warm and witty look at life in a close-knit Washington, D.C. apartment building. With sharp humor, heartwarming stories, and a brilliant cast led by Marla Gibbs, the show quickly became a fan favorite. But while the series brought joy and laughter to millions, time has brought sorrow as well. Several beloved cast members who helped make 227 so special have sadly passed away, some after long battles with illness, others under more tragic circumstances. In this video, we remember those stars, their unforgettable roles, their personal journeys, and the legacies they left behind. Join us as we honor the lives behind the laughter. Helen Martin was born on July 23, 1909, and portrayed Pearl Shea in 227 in 1985 at age 76. Pearl was the sharp-tongued, nosy neighbor whose witty remarks and fearless commentary made her an unforgettable presence on the show. Martin's long career spanned decades, primarily on stage and in television, yet her later years were clouded by the harsh realities faced by aging black actresses in Hollywood, often sidelined despite her talent. Behind the scenes, she was known for her fierce independence and refusal to conform, which, while admirable, often isolated her from mainstream opportunities. Though Helen never faced public scandals, insiders whispered about her struggles with loneliness and near poverty in old age, a far cry from her vibrant on-screen persona. Her personal life remained guarded, but it is rumored she faced health challenges quietly before dying of a heart attack on March 25, 2000, at 90. Her legacy is that of a trailblazer who challenged stereotypes with grace and grit. Paul Winfield was born May 22, 1939, and joined 227 in 1988 as Julian C. Barlow at age 49. Julian was the intellectual, refined presence whose calm demeanor often provided balance to the show's livelier characters. Winfield's career was marked by brilliant highs, yet shadowed by deep personal struggles. Openly gay during a time when Hollywood was hostile to such openness, he endured professional ostracization and loneliness, making his success all the more remarkable. His health deteriorated due to obesity and diabetes, conditions worsened by years of stress and rumored substance abuse. On set, Winfield had a reputation for being difficult, allegedly clashing with producers and co-stars, possibly as a reflection of his inner turmoil. Though he maintained dignity in public, private accounts suggest a man haunted by the pressures of fame and identity. Paul Winfield passed away from a heart attack on March 7, 2004, at 64, leaving behind a legacy of courage and groundbreaking artistry. Elena Reed Hall, born November 10, 1946, took on the role of Rose Lee Holloway in 227 in 1985 at age 39. Rose Lee was the nurturing and grounded voice of reason among the tenants, a figure of warmth and stability. However, Elena's personal life was anything but stable. She married co-star Kevin Peter Hall, but their marriage was tragically short-lived due to his untimely death from AIDS-related complications. The loss devastated her, and the stigma surrounding AIDS at the time forced her to endure profound grief largely in private. Throughout her career, Reed Hall faced setbacks that some speculate were tied to industry biases against her outspoken advocacy and personal losses. She reportedly struggled with depression and a sense of isolation, despite her poised public image. Reed Hall avoided public scandal but endured private battles, using her platform to bring awareness to issues close to her heart. She died on December 17, 2009, at 63 from breast cancer, remembered for her resilience amid tragedy. Rinonaldo Rey was born January 27, 1940, and played the neighborhood mailman in 227 in 1986 at age 46. His character was known for delivering biting humor and sarcastic commentary, injecting sharp wit into his limited screen time. Off-screen, Rey's career was marked by a volatile temper and a penchant for controversy. Known as a fearless comedian, he often pushed boundaries that led to clashes with network executives and fellow performers, including an industry blacklisting rumor after a contentious joke offended powerful figures. He struggled privately with alcoholism and bouts of anger that affected his professional reputation and personal relationships, though he remained beloved by fans for his razor-sharp comedy. Ray's personal life was tumultuous, including financial instability and strained friendships. He died on May 28, 2015, at age 75 from stroke complications, remembered as a complex figure who lived his life with boldness and uncompromising humor. George Kirby was born on June 8, 1923, and appeared as Milton Jenkins on 227 starting in 1987 at age 64. Milton was the smooth, quick-witted jokester whose infectious humor lightened the show's atmosphere. Kirby was a pioneering African-American comedian, famously the first black comic to headline the Copacabana, yet his career was overshadowed by a stunning fall from grace. In 1977, he was convicted of heroin trafficking, serving over 3 years in prison, a scandal that devastated his professional reputation and severed many industry connections. Upon release, he attempted a comeback, often mentoring younger comedians while battling public suspicion and stigma. His personal life was equally troubled, marked by several failed marriages, estrangement from his children, and rumored struggles with addiction and paranoia. His physical decline due to Parkinson's disease compounded his hardships in later years. Kirby died on September 30, 1995, at 72, his life a stark tale of brilliance tainted by addiction, legal battles, and tragic decline. Kevin Peter Hall was born May 9, 1955, and portrayed Warren Merriweather in 227 and 1989 at age 34. Warren was the gentle giant, known for his warmth and quiet dignity that endeared him to audiences. Hall's towering 7 feet 4 inches stature pigeonholed him into creature roles like the Predator, a frustration that weighed heavily on his identity as an actor. His marriage to co-star Elena Reed Hall was deeply loving but shadowed by tragedy, as he secretly battled AIDS during an era of rampant fear and stigma. The secrecy around his illness reflected the widespread discrimination faced by people with HIV/AIDS at the time, forcing Hall to suffer in silence. His premature death from AIDS-related complications after a contaminated blood transfusion shocked the industry and fans alike. Hall passed away on April 10, 1991, at just 35, cutting short a promising career and silencing a gentle soul who carried immense burdens with humility. His legacy is one of kindness, talent, and the tragic human cost of an era's ignorance. Beia Richards was born on July 12, 1920, and played Carolyn Hurley in 227 beginning in 1986 at age 66. Carolyn was the dignified matriarch whose calm strength and nurturing presence offered a moral compass within the show's dynamic, embodying deep family values and resilience. Richards was a renowned poet, playwright, and activist who broke barriers in Hollywood, yet her fierce advocacy for civil rights made her a lightning rod for controversy and professional blacklisting in conservative entertainment circles. Behind her composed public facade lay a tumultuous personal life marked by an abusive marriage and a painful divorce, which left lasting scars. She endured years of chronic illness and respiratory problems that eventually claimed her health. Richards' unwavering commitment to justice and black identity often placed her at odds with industry gatekeepers and even some peers. She died on September 14, 2000, at age 80 from emphysema, a towering figure whose life blended artistic brilliance with profound personal hardship and fierce defiance. Whitman Mayo was born on November 15, 1930, and portrayed Henry Hurley in 227 starting in 1986 at age 56. Henry was the wise, easygoing backbone of the community, offering humor and heartfelt advice that grounded the show's neighborhood dynamic. Mayo's career had notable peaks playing Grady on Sanford and Son, but behind the scenes, his path was far from smooth. Before acting, he drifted through a string of odd jobs, including stints as a probation officer and a volleyball player in Mexico, reflecting a restless, unsettled spirit. While largely scandal-free, insiders whispered about his volatile temper and battles with alcohol that sometimes strained his on-set relationships. His private life was marked by loneliness and a difficult estrangement from his children, deepening his struggles with depression. Mayo died on May 22, 2001, at age 70 from a heart attack, leaving a legacy both beloved and shadowed by private turmoil. Julius Kerry was born on March 12, 1952, and played Dale Evans in 227 beginning in 1986 at age 34. Dale was a flamboyant, confident character whose wit and style energized the series. Kerry was best known for his iconic role as Shonuff in The Last Dragon, but his career was punctuated by a reputation for volatility and difficulty on set. Directors and co-stars frequently clashed with his temper and controlling behavior, while rumors of on-set manipulation and intimidation circulated quietly in the industry. His personal life was fraught with tumultuous relationships, heavy drinking, and womanizing that alienated friends and family alike. Though he never faced major public scandals, insiders spoke of his hard-partying lifestyle and dark moods, which made him unpredictable. His rapid decline due to pancreatic cancer shocked fans and colleagues alike. Kerry died on August 19, 2008, aged 56, leaving a legacy of charisma and talent marked by personal demons that he never fully conquered. Ron Glass was born on July 10, 1945, and played Robert Stone in 227, 1987, at age 42. Robert was the smooth, articulate neighbor whose poised intelligence often acted as the community's moral compass, adding a layer of sophistication to the show's vibrant neighborhood dynamics. While Glass's career featured memorable roles in Barney Miller and Firefly, his off-screen life revealed a more complex and darker side rarely discussed. Despite his calm public persona and spiritual devotion as a practicing Buddhist, Glass privately wrestled with bouts of deep depression and anxiety that he guarded fiercely. Friends reported that his reserved nature masked years of loneliness and occasional substance use as a way to cope with Hollywood pressures. His reluctance to engage with the celebrity lifestyle and media made him somewhat of an enigma, contributing to strained professional relationships that slowed his career momentum in later years. Ron Glass passed away on November 25, 2016, aged 71, due to respiratory failure, leaving behind a legacy marked by both warmth and quiet tragedy. Yvonne Wilder was born on September 21, 1937, and played Anna Gonzalez in 227, 1988, at age 51. Anna was a fiery, outspoken Latina whose fierce pride and humor brought cultural richness to the show's tapestry. Wilder's off-screen story, however, was fraught with challenges and controversies that rarely made headlines. Known in Hollywood circles for her strong will and unwillingness to conform, she frequently clashed with producers and agents over roles and representation, earning a reputation for being difficult. Behind closed doors, she endured tumultuous relationships and multiple divorces, with reports of emotional abuse and estrangement from family members surfacing years later. Rumors of substance dependency and mental health struggles circulated quietly but were never publicly confirmed. Despite these personal battles, Wilder was an outspoken advocate for Latinx artists and pushed for diversity in Hollywood, leaving a complicated but impactful legacy when she died on November 24, 2021, aged 84, from undisclosed causes. Flip Wilson was born on December 8, 1933, and portrayed Ed Fulton in 227, 1988, at age 55. Ed was a clever, unpredictable trickster who injected humor and chaos into the series, mirroring Wilson's own groundbreaking comedic style. But behind his infectious laughter was a turbulent personal life riddled with heartbreak and scandal. Wilson's multiple marriages were plagued by public spats and legal battles, especially nasty custody disputes that estranged him from his children. He struggled for years with alcoholism and depression, often hiding behind his stage persona to mask his pain. Friends and insiders spoke of his volatile temper and a tendency to alienate colleagues with reckless behavior and harsh criticisms. Additionally, Wilson's difficult childhood, marked by poverty and abandonment, cast a long shadow over his adult life, contributing to self-destructive patterns that hampered his career's latter days. Flip Wilson died on November 25, 1998, aged 64, from liver cancer, leaving a complicated legacy of trailblazing comedy tainted by private turmoil. Dela Rey was born on July 6, 1931, and portrayed Grace in 227, 1987, at age 56. Grace was the wise, nurturing presence who grounded the neighborhood with spiritual insight and maternal strength. Rey's illustrious career as a singer and actress was interwoven with profound personal tragedies and internal battles. The death of her daughter left an indelible mark, fueling years of private grief and struggles with depression. Rey's strong religious faith and work as an ordained minister were both a refuge and a source of tension, as she sometimes clashed with colleagues over her outspoken spiritual views. Off-screen, she reportedly faced episodes of mood swings and confrontations, making her both a respected and challenging figure in the entertainment world. Despite these difficulties, Rey's resilience and talent earned her lasting respect, though her life was far from the serene image she often projected. She died on November 19, 2017, aged 86, from undisclosed causes, remembered for both her brilliance and the personal storms she endured. Luther Vandross was born on April 20, 1951, and appeared as himself in 227, 1990, at age 39. Vandross's smooth, soulful voice lent the show an air of refined musical elegance, but his private life was riddled with struggles hidden from the public eye. Known for his perfectionism, Vandross could be controlling and demanding in studio settings, sometimes creating friction with producers and fellow musicians. Behind his charismatic exterior, he battled severe health issues exacerbated by chronic weight problems and high blood pressure, which he masked with a carefully curated public image. His romantic life was intensely private, with whispers of complicated relationships and heartbreaks that he kept shielded from fans and media. Vandross's intense drive for success took a toll on his emotional well-being, and he faced bouts of depression that few knew about. He died on July 1, 2005, aged 54, from complications following a stroke, leaving behind a legacy as a legendary artist whose personal battles remained largely unseen. Earl Bowen was born on August 8, 1941, and portrayed Conrad in 227 and 1990 at age 49. Conrad's neurotic and officious character masked a real-life personality known for a strict, controlling demeanor that often caused tension on set. Bowen's career, highlighted by memorable roles like Dr. Silberman in the Terminator series, was nonetheless punctuated by two bitter divorces, both of which exposed a darker side of emotional manipulation and infidelity that remained out of the public eye. Industry insiders described him as a perfectionist whose passive-aggressive tactics created a toxic environment for colleagues, contributing to lost roles and strained professional relationships. Despite his talent, these behind-the-scenes conflicts often overshadowed his work, pushing him to retreat into voice acting in later years, where he enjoyed less scrutiny. His personal life was marked by loneliness and estrangement from his children, a reality he rarely discussed openly. Earl Bowen succumbed to stage 4 lung cancer on January 5, 2023 at 81, leaving behind a career as versatile as it was quietly troubled. Carmen Philippy was born on March 22, 1923, and played the old geezer in 227 and 1989 at age 66. His character was the quintessential eccentric old man, scruffy, unpredictable, and oddly endearing, often bringing a touch of bizarre humor and melancholy to the neighborhood scenes. Philippy's career spanned decades, mainly as a character actor in supporting roles, but beneath his quirky on-screen persona lay a life shadowed by personal demons. A World War II veteran, he reportedly struggled with lingering PTSD, which fueled unpredictable mood swings and bouts of depression, alienating him from many close relationships. Though he never made headlines for scandal, those close to him whispered about his heavy drinking and volatile temper on set, which occasionally led to friction with directors and co-stars. His fondness for playing drifters and outsiders was said to mirror his own feeling of isolation and rejection. In his later years, he became increasingly reclusive, distancing himself from Hollywood circles and family. Carmen Philippy died quietly on May 9, 2003, at age 80. Dennis Fimple was born on November 11, 1940, and played Slim in 227 and 1989 at age 49. Slim's easygoing, lovable country charm was a stark contrast to Fimple's turbulent personal life, which was riddled with financial woes, unstable relationships, and an addictive streak. Known for his eccentric roles, Fimple's off-screen reputation was far less endearing. Multiple marriages ended acrimoniously amid allegations of emotional abuse and neglect, and he had several run-ins with the law over unpaid debts and minor altercations fueled by his gambling addiction. Behind his friendly public image lay a man who struggled with anger issues and unpredictability, making him notorious in some industry circles for unreliability and tantrums on set. Despite avoiding major public scandals, whispers of his personal failings and conflicts with co-stars colored his later career. His life was tragically cut short in a car accident on August 23, 2002, at age 61, ending years marked by personal chaos and instability. Teddy Wilson was born on December 10, 1943, and played Cousin Ray in 227 and 1986 at age 43. Ray was a street-smart, quick-witted character whose schemes brought humor and tension to the family dynamic. Despite a career spanning hit shows like Good Times, Wilson's personal life was rife with turmoil rarely publicized. His marriage to actress Joan Pringle suffered from frequent clashes, fueled by his secret battle with alcoholism and gambling addiction, which drained their finances and frayed family bonds. Wilson's volatile temper on set made him difficult to work with, leading to whispered rumors of being blacklisted in some circles. Off-screen, he faced estrangement from his son, who accused him publicly of neglect and emotional abuse. These dark undercurrents contrasted sharply with his warm screen persona. Tragically, Wilson's health deteriorated under these pressures, culminating in a fatal stroke on July 21, 1991, at age 47, leaving behind unresolved wounds masked by his comedic legacy. John Carlin was born on May 28, 1933, and portrayed Nathan Pollock in 227 and 1989 at age 56. Nathan was portrayed as a street-smart, loyal, yet emotionally complex character, a reflection in many ways of Carlin himself. Though a respected actor, Carlin's off-screen life was haunted by a deep gambling addiction that nearly ruined him financially and personally. His marriage fell apart amid allegations of infidelity and emotional abuse, leaving him estranged from his children who reportedly distanced themselves due to his erratic behavior and secretive nature. Behind the scenes, Carlin's battles with addiction led to multiple rehabilitation attempts and frequent disputes with producers and colleagues over his professionalism and conduct. Despite his talent and charm on screen, he carried a heavy personal burden of regret and loss that remained largely hidden from the public. John Carlin died from congestive heart failure on January 22, 2020 at 86, leaving behind a complicated legacy woven with both acclaim and tragedy. James Karen was born on November 28, 1923, and appeared as a lawyer in 227 and 1985 at age 62. His role conveyed calm professionalism and gravitas, but Karen's private life was far less serene. He endured a tumultuous second marriage that ended amid scandalous allegations of infidelity and emotional neglect, details that surfaced only in tabloid whispers. Despite a prolific career with over 200 credits, including memorable roles in Poltergeist and The Return of the Living Dead, Karen battled with severe bouts of depression and a hidden gambling addiction that drained his finances and alienated close friends. On set, he was sometimes known for his cold demeanor and sharp tongue, earning a reputation as difficult to work with, though rarely publicly confronted. His emotional struggles and personal scandals remained largely veiled from the public eye, painting a picture of a man wrestling privately with demons even as he maintained a professional facade. James Karen passed away peacefully from natural causes on October 23, 2018, at age 94. Paul Reubens was born on August 27, 1952, and brought Pee Wee Herman to 227 in 1987 at age 35. Pee Wee's quirky, surreal charm contrasted sharply with Reubens' tumultuous life behind the scenes. His 1991 arrest for indecent exposure became a national scandal that temporarily derailed his burgeoning career, plunging him into a painful period of public shaming and professional blacklisting. Beyond the headlines, Reubens battled substance abuse and the crushing pressure of being forever tied to one eccentric persona, leading to reported rifts with collaborators who found him erratic and controlling. His personal life remained largely private but was rumored to be complicated by struggles with depression and addiction. Despite these hardships, Reubens' resilience allowed him to gradually rebuild his career before succumbing to acute myelogenous leukemia on July 30, 2023 at age 70, a figure forever marked by both his creative genius and public scandal. Red Buttons was born on February 5, 1919, and played Toots in 227 in 1987 at age 68. His character brought a nostalgic vaudeville charm that belied a private life fraught with darker episodes. Buttons struggled for decades with alcohol addiction that fueled erratic behavior and strained relationships. Multiple marriages ended acrimoniously, often accompanied by bitter custody battles and allegations of emotional neglect toward his children. Known for his tardiness and occasional intoxication on set, Buttons' professional reputation suffered in later years, costing him roles despite his earlier Oscar success. Friends and colleagues often spoke of his fierce temper and unpredictable mood swings, which complicated his work and personal interactions. He battled vascular disease exacerbated by years of substance abuse and died on July 13, 2006, at age 87, remembered as a gifted performer shadowed by private turmoil. John Houseman was born on September 22, 1902, and appeared as himself in 227 and 1987 at age 85. A theatrical legend, Houseman was known for his razor-sharp intellect and uncompromising standards, which earned him both reverence and fear in equal measure. His demanding personality often manifested in merciless criticism and a famously abrasive demeanor that left many actors and students wary of working with him. Though respected for his mentorship and artistic vision, stories of his verbal tirades and coldness were common in industry circles, painting a picture of a man consumed by perfectionism to the point of cruelty. His personal life was marked by failed marriages and emotional distance from family, living mostly solitary in his later years. Diagnosed with spine cancer, Houseman died on October 31, 1988, at age 86, leaving behind a complicated legacy of brilliance and hardness seldom softened by affection. Roscoe Lee Brown was born on May 2, 1922, and portrayed Albert Henry in 227 and 1987 at age 65. Albert's refined intellect and dignified calm mirrored Brown's off-screen persona, but beneath this polished exterior was a life marked by secrecy and emotional isolation. Brown was intensely private, carefully shielding his personal life from the public eye, which fueled speculation about his sexuality and concealed romantic relationships. His perfectionist nature made him demanding and sometimes intimidating to colleagues, and his aloofness often led to strained friendships within the industry. Despite his commanding voice and theatrical prestige, Brown struggled with chronic illnesses and bouts of depression, retreating frequently from Hollywood's social scene. His death from cancer on April 11, 2007, at age 84, closed a chapter on a remarkable career that balanced public dignity with guarded, complex private struggles. Who is your favorite character in 227? How do you feel knowing that the actors have passed away? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thank you so much.